Welcome to the Star Wars Collectors Archive podcast. It's the Guidecast with your hosts, Mr. Nice Guy, Sky Payne, and Stephen Stanley.
Wow.
It's episode, well, we'll talk about what episode is it, Steve?
Welcome to 125. It's
Wrong.
125.
No, it's
No?
not. No, I made an
Oh,
executive decision. Now I
okay.
am planning on being nice. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to be autocratic. So I have an idea, Steve.
Okay.
So, we do one episode every single month since 2010. And we've only missed a couple years worth. So, but this is the thing. If you count the blog log pods as episodes,
Hmm.
then
Yeah.
this is actually episode 143. What do you think?
Ooh. I like it. Let's just let's just accumulate. I like that.
Yeah.
Aggregate. Yeah.
Yes. And then that means if we did one show per month, that would put us back to February 2012. And we started February 2010. So I think we're pretty good.
Yeah. No, it's that we're starting our 15th year technically, though one
Yes.
year one year didn't exist. So yeah.
Yes.
Um
Yeah, 2023, COVID was really hard, and it was so hard on us that we decided to take a year off 3 years after the crisis.
yeah, I feel
Uh,
like it was delayed crisis.
Now, if you're listening to this, you're listening to the iTunes feed, and you're noticing there's no images. That's because I've just been beating my MacBooks like old donkeys, and they are not capable of doing this anymore. They're not capable of having enhanced podcasts. So if you want to see images, you can actually see video. So we're going to be putting these on YouTube, on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And I'm very, comfortable in front of the camera. Steve, how do you feel in front of the camera?
I'm not an on-camera guy, but we're gonna figure this out. It'll be okay. Yeah, I'm excited. I think just being able to do it is step one. So, I will do my best. You're the professional at this point in terms of the the
Yeah, but
on-camera.
but it's what we're going to do is this is not going to be like our official return episode. I mean, it is our return, but we thought it'd be more fun instead of doing like the actual full new format. We're going to get help from Lobart. We might get help from What's the Frequency, Kenneth Marcusciano. We might not get help. It's going to probably look better than this when we do it. I think our first episode back is going to be on Java. We've been thinking, should we do it on Java or not? And I
Yeah.
think we should because one of our lost episodes was with Mathieu Barthélemy,
Yes.
and he's a Java guy.
Yeah. Yeah, that definitely crossed my mind, and like I feel like we can do maybe a 2 episode bridge season with
Yeah.
Jabba and then the Rebo Band. I feel like we gotta get
Yes.
to them before we completely leave Return of the Jedi. So
Yes.
yeah, no, I went Lucas on it and I scribbled drafts years ago, and
Awesome.
we're ready whenever we get
It's
there.
it's like poetry, Steve. It rhymes. Oh, and
Uh,
yeah, and when we come back, we're going to describe why did we take a break. It's not just because we had a birth in the family and a death in the family. It's also because, in the words of Detective Crashmore, everything has sucked lately. Is this hobby just garbage and we shouldn't do it anymore and it's no fun? That's going to be one of our questions we're going to ask. And
Not tonight though, right? We're gonna
not
be
tonight.
okay.
I'm starting off so poorly. Okay, so
Ah,
everyone on the video is going to get to see me take off my sweater. I don't know why I thought I could wear a sweater. People don't know this, but I usually sweat my.
yeah, that's I feel like your usual. When it gets a little cooler, you'll have the robe, but I think the
Yeah.
black V-neck is your official Kivecast uniform. I feel like that feels right.
So we're going to be having a couple guests here, and what we want to do is this. We're going to be talking. So here's the deal. We're really going to be tailoring it towards the video, I think.
Yeah,
Because I just think that's going to be more engaging for people, but we'll still describe. So I'm going to be holding up here an Empire Strikes Back Chewbacca figure with a cracked bubble and a sticker from Basa, which is the Peruvian, allegedly the company that distributed Peruvian toys. And
yeah,
this is going to lead a little bit into the everything has sucked lately theme because this is like the last major purchase I made.
Hmm.
And Steve, what is my traditional attitude towards high-end items from South America?
A little bit of skepticism, right? A little bit of caution.
Yes.
You're a cautious
Yeah. So
fellow.
so before I was Mr. Nice Guy, I was very known for my paranoia and my belief that, especially it was not so much Peru, but Argentina, really have a lot of doubts about a
Yep.
lot of things that people think are real from there. And there's even things from Peru that I haven't quite known. So, at this point, I have all the domestic Chewbacca's I want. I have most of the foreign Chewbacca's I want. And here is a carded figure, even though it's got a cracked bubble, that just I would never be able to get.
Yeah.
As far as like when you're a focus collector, you sort of have this image of like the map of the world, and you want to have, like the people who travel and put little pins, like you want to have a pin.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be answering the question, should I have bought this? Because I spent 1.5 times what I spent on my original photo art. This is the most I have ever spent on any single item in my collection. And I'll tell you how much it was, Steve. It was $3,000. Okay.
Yeah.
Three bills.
Yeah.
Three.
Yeah.
If you're not watching, if you're just listening, I'm holding up the number three. Um, I've never spent that much.
Yeah.
Now I happen to have just sold something, and I should never sell anything because the second I have PayPal money, Steve, I'm the worst. I start collecting comic books. I start buying baseball cards. I just lose.
Spiraling. Yeah.
Yeah. So fortunately, I was able to, I sold something that I bought for one for 10, and then I had extra and all that. So it's not like I'm broke or whatever. But my spidey sense was tingling. It seemed too good to be true. But it came from Bill Cable, who's one of my closest friends in the hobby, one of the people I respect the most. And there's this kind of whole story about how did I end up with this. So
Yeah.
what I think we should do is we should bring them on, and we're going to have a PowerPoint slide that we're going to move in here at a certain point. We'll probably have it look better in the final version, like of the show. But we're not really going to be editing much anymore either. Which that was most of the work that I did for the show, Steve. So does that mean you're going to be doing everything?
I wouldn't say everything. No. No. I like the streamline approach.
Yes.
I think it'll work.
Yeah, that's the best way to ensure continued very much success. So I can actually pause the recording, Steve. So I'm going to pause the recording, then we're going to bring in Matt and Bill. And you, Steve, have to not call him George because you kept referring to him as George when we were preparing. And you're like, I know his name is Matt, but his name is Matt George. Don't get fooled.
No, Matt.
Okay. Wait, was I breaking the Mr. Nice Guy rule? I was. This is going to be
Never.
so hard, Steve.
Don't be afraid of who you are, Sky.
I have to be because I will discuss it. I had some very frank conversations with people who I like, and apparently my off the cuff obnoxiousness is obnoxious. Okay, so let's invite them in. Let's talk about the four, and this is the cool thing. We're going to be hyping up a charity auction. One of these last items we are going to sell. We were going to try to sell it and recoup some money from what, because we probably bought fakes. I don't. Oh, this is the final thing before we let them in, Steve.
Yeah.
I haven't paid any attention.
Okay.
Bill has been doing research. He's released articles, but I'm too afraid to find out if it's fake. Like I'm too like
Yeah.
right now it's Schrodinger's Bossa, like it's
Right.
not fake at the same time. At the end of this episode, you, Steve, me, Sky, you people watching and listening, we're gonna have a pretty strong opinion about whether or not this is fake and what else is fake. All right,
Yeah.
so let's let in Matt and Bill. I was trying to catch you, have you call him Matt, but then I said his name. Computer magic, Steve. Look at that. They're all here now.
Everyone's here.
I gotta hit okay, don't I?
Now it's been a
Okay.
super long time. Matt, have we had you on the show before?
First time, long time.
Wow.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
You're in that
I've heard every
category.
one of your episodes at least twice.
Really?
I do want to come out and preface this by saying I'm a Ben Kenobi focus collector, and I
Okay.
am kind of a little bit I don't want to say upset, but the Ben
Yes.
Kenobi focused episode wasn't really about Ben Kenobi.
No.
No, it was not.
So I
I
just
mean,
want to get that out of the way, and now we can have
okay.
a nice productive conversation.
We very much accept that criticism, and I
Yeah.
think we in the middle of the next like the last 17, we'll just throw in a Matt special Kenobi episode, because we really should have done that, but we're it's been a rough couple of years in the hobby for us. I don't know if you guys have felt the same way, but it's been hard to keep up the passion and love. But not you, Bill. You have been out there digging up madness and throwing Matt and I into this absolute insanity. So I think what I'll do is I will share the screen with the PowerPoint and we'll kind of see how that looks. Okay. So is that full screen? Okay. So Bill, take us back. How does this all happen? How do these four figures make their way into the United States, first of all?
Sure. So it all began in early July 2022. Um, a guy named who went by Ed D. Toke MJ on Facebook posted in the lowercase vintage Star Wars collectors group a photo you see right there of some figures that he said turned up in his shop. He said he
Ed B. Toke,
D, yeah, capital D, lower Toke.
like Toke marijuana?
I don't know if it means
Okay.
anything,
Okay.
but
Ed D.
spelled the
Toke.
same way, yes.
All right, good. I'm just getting the board together.
Sure, sure. His real name was Edgar Jaramillo, or I don't know if it's
Okay.
Jaramillo.
It's probably Jaramillo, Steve, right?
Uh, Sounds right. Yeah, probably.
Oh, actually, I don't know. Matt, do you speak Spanish? You're down in
Yeah,
Texas.
resident Texan here. Jaramillo.
That sounds right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Ed that was his real name. So he posted on the Vintage Star Wars Collectors board, and somebody replied to his post with a link to one of my creaturecantina.com boss articles. So with one where I was talking about the card back that I got from Luis Galvez, talking about how they're valuable and all that kind of stuff. So he sent me a message through Facebook, said, "Hey, is this you? And I found these figures, and could you look at them? Do you think they're real?"
Now to really make it clear, so these card backs are, I mean, I have never seen even just a card back with a Bossa sticker on it of anything other than C3PO. There are some others that were known though. Is that right? I just wasn't looking.
Yeah. There's a handful that were known.
Okay. Oh.
But yeah, super rare.
Oh wait, and I don't edit anymore, so we have to stop saying so much, Steve. It's going to be rough. That was most of my time editing was cutting out ums. Okay. Okay, so then Ed D. Toke, aka Ed Amarillo, messages you. So he was on the lowercase vintage Star Wars, so that's Jason Smith's page.
Correct. Yeah.
Right. Which he refers to as the OG page, which he's enough of a friend of the show that I think we'll just go ahead and call it the OG vintage page. Does everyone agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, it was absolutely the first one I joined on Facebook.
Yeah, it's huge too, right? That's the one that has just thousands upon thousands of members. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So the OG page, they send you, and he's into his shop. Now, where does he say his shop is?
In Peru, he didn't really go into deep detail. He said he wasn't really a toy collector, that he buys stuff off of tricycle vendors and flips it.
Okay. Tricycle vendors.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of like a flea market where all the vendors have their cart on the back of a tricycle. They ride up and sell whatever stuff they turned up.
Okay. So he bought this off of a tricycle, do you think? No, it came into a shop.
Yeah, I mean, memory is not super clear on that exact specific.
Okay, hey Matt. So
Yes,
because
sir.
we're secondary, I think we should officially say these came off the back of a tricycle in Peru. That's way more romantic and way cool, right?
Yeah.
Because
Tricycle focus.
Yes, exactly.
If we were gonna make an animated segment of this story, that's what we need.
Yes. Which also another thing for the YouTube page, if you want to make any like animations or goofy videos or anything, just send them
Yeah,
to us
someone
and
please
we'll
do
put
that.
them up. Yeah, we'll put them up on here. We're gonna try and make this a little bit more fun. Okay, so this guy says some guy pulls up on a tricycle with $12,000 worth of Star Wars toys. Okay, yes.
Pretty much, yeah. So so I asked if I could see more photos of it, and the thing that struck me immediately was the C3PO is an ESP-45, which ESP-45s only have ever shown up at retail in Peru with the BASA sticker.
Hmm.
Um,
And
up
that's the only
until
place that a 45 back has ever existed in for most of the history of collecting Star Wars toys. You cannot get a C3PO 45 back unless it's Peruvian.
correct.
Right.
That was up until I found the one from Hong Kong on eBay, um,
Right.
the Golden Grail,
Right.
and that was the first one that did not have a BASA sticker on it. And after digging into that, that seemed to be like a factory overstock, factory test pieces. Some of the other pieces in the lot were first shots on cards and that kind of stuff. So, um, not stuff that would ever been on retail shelves. So, and the reason why the 45 is so interesting is it was slated to be the premier card back for removable limb C3PO. But for whatever reason, it did not make it on the shelves anywhere else except Peru.
Okay.
That is still just so wild because
Yeah.
because I think everything is fake. I'm thinking who was smart enough to come up with this kind of weird, but no, obviously it's not. Obviously it's real. That's wild.
So, because of that fact, I knew immediately that the C3PO had to be authentic. Um, there was no other way that this figure could exist on an ESP-45 from a guy in Peru, except if it was one of the BASA ones. And then if you look at the other three figures on the find, they are all in identical condition.
Hmm.
They all have the
Nice.
same brittle yellowed plastic bubbles. They're all sliced at the top the same way. The figures are removed the same way. All of them in pretty rough shape. So it's not something that you could recreate after the fact. If somebody had the knowledge that, oh, all ESP-45 3POs are BASA, and I want to sell some fakes, I'm going to throw it on other cards and then weather them the same exact way. That's just not within the realm of possibility.
Right. Or at least not. I mean, because the amount of difficulty you'd have to, yeah, I mean, yeah, that was right, Matt. That's why you and I both thought because they were damaged in the same way. That's why I thought it was real. Was that what was your sort of thinking when you first saw it, Matt?
Yeah, same thing. Kind of when I looked at the weathering on the like the BASA stickers themselves and kind of compared them to the areas right around the stickers on the cards, it just looked something that was consistent with aging around the entire card and not just it looked completely different around the sticker as with the rest of the card. So that was the first thing that I wanted to look for. And whenever I got it in hand, I kind of noticed the same um, I guess depression patterns on the sticker that was right outside of the sticker on the card back. So that seemed to line up too.
Yeah. Oh, Steve, you just muted yourself, but yeah, we definitely need to have Matt on. Okay, Steve, maybe we should do 3 episodes before the last 17 and do another Obi-Wan. Okay, just thinking about that. Okay, so
Okay.
so back to your story, Bill.
So after that, I asked them if they were for sale. He said he was interested in selling them. So I reached out to Sky and Matt because I knew they were some of the top focus collectors for Obi-Wan and Chewbacca. See if they were interested in going in to buy the lot. And what did you guys think when you first saw these?
The
Oh,
first thing I
fake.
noticed was obviously the condition. They all three have, or you know, the three with the BASA stickers have all three exact same weathering patterns, and the way that like I don't know how you go out and find bubbles that have weather the exact same way across those three specific characters, and attach them to bubbles in such a way that it doesn't look like that someone had put them on there after the fact.
Yeah, I think so. What happens to me is when I want something to be real, I doubt it the most. And I wanted it to be so real, and I doubted it so much. But then part of me was like, if this is a fake, this MFer was so smart that they included one that didn't have a sticker that would probably go then more than the rest. So like the layers of intelligence of you buying in, it's like it's a ruse on a level, way beyond anything we've covered on this channel, like including the Vader that we're going to be auctioning that could be yours for a low price of however much you buy it for, like including that to me and the weather, it was just that just I don't know. It seemed like if there was a possibility of a real Bassa Chewbacca, that this would be it.
That's yeah, how things aligned.
Yeah. And also Steve's getting over COVID, so that's why he sounded like that.
Yeah, that's full disclosure.
Okay, go on Nick Nolte over there.
Yeah, seriously. Feeling like that too. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I've already said how much I spent. Are you comfortable talking about how much we paid for the lot?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, how much did we pay for the lot?
It was 10 grand.
Okay. So it was 10 grand, and we were anticipating selling the Vader for 15 and making
Yeah.
5 grand from it. No, I mean, right. So
See, to me, from the very start, the Vader was a write-off. I was happy for paying a third of 10 grand for that 3PO.
yeah, how about you, Matt? What were you thinking financially?
Yeah, I mean, like $2,000 is kind of what I was thinking, but you know, somewhere around there was going to be acceptable. I know there's a little bit of risk and stuff like this, but to me, at that price, it was kind of worth the risk.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, depending on how the end of this episode goes, it'll be totally be worth it. Like if I am confident at the end of this episode that this thing is real, I'll be totally happy. Because there reaches a certain point, I mean, and that's part of the funny thing about collecting for so long. It's like, I spent more on this than I did for like all my proofs combined or something ridiculous like that, so okay, so that's not the end of the story. You had it sent. Let's see. So we got
Right.
the certificate of authenticity, which is always worth exactly as much as the paper it's printed on.
Right.
Did
Now,
he send this with it?
no, what I did for the COAs was I was anticipating selling the Vader at some point, and I wanted something to connect the Vader to the rest of the Bassa figures. So I put together these COAs and asked him if he would print them out and sign them and send them. And I actually mailed copies to him that he said he never received. So he just ended up printing them himself and mailing those along with another shipment. And
Okay.
we received the figure. He mailed the first figure. We did like it was a crazy payment thing where we didn't want to send all the money all at once. So I sent the money for the 3PO first, waited till we received the 3PO,
Oh my God, that's right.
then sent the money for the Chewbacca next, waited till we received the Chewbacca, and then sent the money for the last two, and he sent the last two at the same time.
And
So
why do we do it that way, Bill?
just to make sure he didn't take the money and run.
Right.
And
he didn't.
He did not. No, and actually he kept in constant communication with me all through the process and even afterwards. So we received the last ones August the 5th. So that was like about a month after he first listed them. And then after that, he would message me on Facebook from time to time. Oh, that's a little bit later, but
Oh, sorry.
he would message me a little bit later with various other Peruvian stuff that he would turn up in the hopes that I would find buyers for it. So that's right here. This is a Peruvian exclusive board game that was complete, which is insane. It's like all those little pieces are little cardboard pieces, and you never find a set of this that has everything in it. So
Wow.
um,
And
whenever
that's one of my I got one of those. So there was a Peruvian Star Wars collectible panel, I think at Celebration 4. Is that right,
Mm-hmm.
Steve? Is that what you remember?
Yeah, yeah. I
And
was just looking
and
at
the,
your Chuseum, your old Chuseum write up on it, just and
yeah,
because that's whenever I think of Bassa, that's the straight think right to that. And yeah, it was 2000, yeah, LA 2004, 2007, I don't know, somewhere in there.
7, I think.
Yeah,
And you can see right in the middle if you're looking, it's what I call, a gordito Chewbacca. Like Chewbacca's super fat. He's just got this big gun. He doesn't have his bandolier. He looks naked. He looks
yeah,
like that who's that comedian? Brett Kreischer. It's kind of like the Brett Kreischer feel, just like he's just anyway. So yeah. So I have an incomplete version of this game somewhere in the boxed up museum. Yeah, and it's ridiculously rare and super awesome.
So this piece I ended up contacting Gus Lopez, and Gus wanted it from him. So he sent that to me, and I forwarded it on to Gus. He also had
And no,
stuff
no
like
complaints from Gus. Gus thinks
no
it's
complaints from
legit
Gus
and
about
fine.
him.
Okay.
He also turned up a Peruvian Empire Strikes Back. You keep flipping around.
I know. Tell me
I
what to
haven't
go
gotten to
to.
that one yet.
Okay.
He also turned up a Peruvian. Not even you're like way ahead. Go back to
Okay.
where we were. Stay on the game.
Jeez.
I'll tell you when to advance. I'll be
Is this
like,
is this
next
Bill
slide.
or Chris Fawcett? Jeez. Love you, Chris. But you're harsh with
slide.
the PowerPoints. Okay. Mr. Nice
Next
Guy.
slide.
Remind me,
Next
Steve,
slide.
I'm Mr. Nice Guy. Okay.
nice guy.
Okay, there
Thank
we
you.
go. So he also turned up a Rebel Transport in box with a Bossa sticker. After doing a little bit of research, those are actually pretty common. And they would be ridiculously expensive to ship from Peru, so I couldn't find anybody interested in that. A few 12-inch figures, Vader and Chewbacca, that were Bossa released, but he didn't have the boxes for them. So the boxes are the real value on the 12-inch figures because they're just these insane, have this insane art all over them. They're really crazy. A plastic lunchbox and thermos made by Bossa that also
Can I
went.
advance it? Don't we
No,
have a slide of that, Steve?
we
No,
have a
I
slide
don't.
of the lunchbox.
Okay.
I don't think we have a slide. Of
I don't
lunchbox.
think so. I don't
Okay.
think so.
Sorry, I would have sent more if I knew I wanted visual aids for all this stuff. But
It's okay. I'll just Steve, could you interpretive dance of a lunchbox while Bill talks?
and that also went to Gus Lopez. And then I also was able to find. Next slide, please. Okay, next slide after that. Oh man, I have them out of order. I'm sorry. Next slide after that.
Okay.
There we go. I was able to also help our good friend Kevin Lentz pick up a bunch of read-along books from Peru that he needed for his very extensive foreign read-along book collection. So I'm happy that I invested a lot of time and effort into helping him out to add to his collection.
Yeah, that's part of our Everything Has Sucked Lately series for next month, but we'll get there. Okay, so those are probably sitting somewhere in evidence locker.
Probably, yeah.
Right.
So 2 slides previous, that was whenever
I
we
just
met
like this slide,
together.
Bill. I'm gonna keep going back to this because I really enjoy this slide.
This might be the key art for
Yeah.
for this episode.
So this was when we met at the annual in New York to hand off the carded figures. At the last minute, Sky flaked and decided not to show up.
I had a
So
baby, some stupid shit.
Yeah, it's no good reason not to show up for a Star Wars collectors gathering. So I ended up printing out Sky's head on a cardboard thing and had somebody else. I think that's Jared holding it up.
Where is that, by the way?
What's that?
Where is that? Do we know where my head is? Is that okay? Anyways,
I don't know where your head is. Sorry.
okay.
Nice
That was
quality.
a great. Yeah, it looked really good. and full sized, which was hard to achieve because this guy.
Yeah, I have yes, I have a very large head. Impressive work. And then
Okay.
you gave that to CAS right there. Right? I didn't even get it yet, right? I had you give it directly to CAS. Is that correct?
I don't recall. Did I?
Or maybe you gave it to someone else, and then I
I
forget
thought
now.
I just gave it to somebody to forward to you.
Yeah, I'm insulting somebody. I forget. Anyways, whoever I'm insulting by forgetting that you did me the favor. Hey, I'm not the worst person who's been done a favor on this podcast, so we'll just leave it at that. Okay.
So, continued on with the Facebook conversation with the guy. Little
Now,
stuff.
were you like at all suspicious that he kept
Not at
on
all. Not
finding
at all. No.
stuff?
He even sent me a gift box to thank me for helping him make all these connections and sales. And I'll show you some of the stuff that he sent me.
Oh, wow. Okay, in that case, I'm gonna do stop share so that we can see it in larger screen. Okay, let's see some of the things that he shared.
So he sent me a Peruvian Star Wars
Oh,
disco album. I haven't even removed it from the cellophane that he would pack everything in.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Sent me a school notebook thing from
Wow.
Return of the Jedi. It's totally used. It has all kind of math, somebody's math notebook,
Whoa.
Yeah.
and it is really awesome. Like all these, some very nice penmanship, whoever it was.
Yeah.
And then sent a couple wallets made by the locals. Hope you like this. And a
Wow.
Peruvian toque.
Nice.
Oh, from Cusco. Wow.
No, does it say Cusco? Oh, yeah. From
Yeah.
Costco? Is that Costco or?
No, it's a city.
Bill, is that your new drinking team hat?
It's a little bit tight. And then this cardboard board game kind of thing. It's like a Japanese mecha kaiju kind of thing.
Wow.
It just has like cardboard stuff in it. So he was really happy that I was helping him out with stuff, and it was really cordial. No problems with anything. And that continued on. And then in November of 2022, he sent me a quick message. Hey, my friend has a Lobot and a Jawa, both with Vasa stickers. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's awesome. Send me pictures. And then he never followed up with that. So
was that the first sort of hint of something?
That wasn't the first hint. Around that time, oh man, I was supposed to print out his name and I'm forgetting it right now. Can we pause 2 seconds so I can get a name?
Yes, 1 second. Wait, how do I pause the recording? Wait, I did this before, Steve.
Yeah.
Pause recording.
There we go.
Okay. Yeah, Bill was just shocked to find out that I'm not going to be editing. So that's the order of the day.
Okay, so sometime around September, Pat O'Brien sent a message to an old group chat we had from a guy who sold Pat a bunch of fake Vasa figures. This was maybe 4 years prior to this deal.
Okay.
And I do think I have a slide for the
okay,
fake.
And just to be clear, so Pat O'Brien is Australian, right? Isn't Pat Australian?
Is he? I don't know.
Well, anyways, he's an insane Vader collector, right?
Yes, he is a Vader collector.
He's the guy who I ended up finally trading that cool Italian tri-logo Vader to, which I regret trading, but yes, it was a fair trade. Yeah, so he's a real deal. I don't think we've ever had him on the show. He's public, but not super like integrated with the community. Does that sound like a good way to put it? Like everyone knows who he is, but they don't know much about him, right? Isn't that how you describe Pat? Right. Okay. Fine.
Sure.
None of you are going to commit to that. That's fine. I can't edit out when I get hung out to dry. So okay. So you said that. So
this one right here. That was the slide we need. So
this one. Okay.
Yes. So these are the fakes that Pat O'Brien bought years
Mm.
before our deal. And he started a group chat with me and some of the victims of the scam. There was Ritter and Narayan and Paul Chu and Luis were all in there. And first, the chat started out where he was asking, "Do you think these are real?" And I looked at them, and I could tell that they didn't look right. And then Luis could tell they didn't look right. And there was like all kinds of red flags about these. Bosses were never released for Return of the Jedi; they were only for Empire. And pretty quickly after people started thinking they were fake, they found the auction of all these. Like it was a lot of card backs all in one auction that this guy bought and put hand cut, hand printed Bosses stickers on and sold them. And Pat ended up distributing them to a bunch of people for big profits on his end, and it ended up all being fake. And so we had this group chat going. He replied to that group chat in September of 22 saying, "Hey, I heard that Luis Vallejo, who's the guy who sold him the fake ones, is operating on Facebook again. His name is Ed D Talk MJ."
Mm.
Ooh.
Uh,
And I asked him what his source was. He said, "Oh, it's collectors in Peru. None of them want to come forward because it's a tight knit community and they fear repercussions of calling out this guy. But at least one person assured me it's the same guy who ripped him off previously that is back working under a different name." But he had no proof other than
Okay.
somebody in Peru saying it was him.
Okay, so that's pretty tough. That's
Yeah,
not like, and you told me this, right? And I just ignored
I
you,
did.
or I just,
Yeah.
yeah. And I was just kind of like, yeah, I don't want to hear about it. Tell me when you figured it out. And then you said, I will. And then I said, okay, then I'll stop doing the podcast for a year and then I'll have you back again. Okay, good. Okay, so then what is the alleged real name of, I'm sorry, I'm making,
Luis
I actually
Vallejo.
did, this is actually just a Greedo. This is a Lavera special right here. I just made this, so this is a real deal Bassa Greedo.
oh
We
man.
might sell we. This is the real Greedo truth. That's for the real ones out there who remember Rebel Scum days. All right, we're gonna auction
Whew,
that off at the next.
that's an artifact.
Yes, at the next archive party. I'm gonna tape it on here. Okay, so Luis, what?
Vallejo,
Okay,
Vallejo.
right, like the beautiful city in California, right, Steve? Okay,
Yeah.
so what did you do about this information?
Well, I pursued it with Pat pretty heavily. I was like, "What evidence do you have? Can you prove it?" And there was nothing concrete. The only
Hmm.
thing he had to go by were people in Peru who were assuring him that it was the same guy. And so without any proof, I just kind of put it in my back pocket and kept in communication with Ed. But
Did you
again,
ask him?
I did eventually ask him because if we want to bring up the Yoda. So the Yoda was the first new carded figure to pop up. That was January 2023.
Wow. Okay.
So it was half a year later that this one popped up. And whenever he sent it to me, I reached out to Ross Cuddy because I knew he'd be interested in it. And I told him the guy who sold this or is selling this, Pat O'Brien, thinks he's the same guy who ripped him off, but he doesn't have any proof it's the guy other than people telling him it's the guy. And
Trust me, it's
Ross
that guy,
ended
pal.
up, yeah, Ross ended up purchasing it from him. Had sent it to Tom Derby to have it inspected. Derby sees no evidence at all that it has ever been tampered with. The interesting thing is the Basa Yodas are like the Pac-Man eye Yodas, and this is the correct Empire card back with the Pac-Man eye
Hmm.
Yoda that would have shown up. That is, there are other confirmed examples that it's the right card back. So
Where are these? How have I never seen Basa Yodas before? Have you,
There,
Steve?
I think there is one of these on the archive. I feel like I've seen
Jesus.
one
Call me out,
there.
huh? All right.
yeah,
But
I
no,
mean they don't show up, and usually when they show up, it's not in English language groups,
mhm.
Right.
um, and they're dealt within Peru because they're interested in their own figures more than they are dealt internationally.
Okay. All right. So another apparent real figure. I mean, probably Tom Derby is probably the best expert, right? Around there, like maybe him and maybe Chris Dragoulias, as far as like people get out the jeweler's loop and are able to identify fakes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have to
So
say his name at least once per episode, or else we get canceled. So I just we also have to have Ron on. We didn't tell him that we're going to call him, but we'll have to somehow make him manifest.
so that went up. Ross made a deal on it. Everything went smoothly. Um, then let's see, March 2023, he asked me, he turned up a radar laser cannon Empire with the Basa sticker. Again, a fairly common item that I don't have a slide of that one.
Oh,
This will be the
okay.
next slide we need though.
Okay.
So then in March of 2020, or I'm sorry, April 2023, a second Yoda card back only. That's on the one Give a Show. And the Han Solo turned up. So these were new figures, kind of out of the blue, after a much shorter break between the previous one. And the Han, I'm pretty sure, or no, I know the Han went to Ross Bar.
Okay.
And pretty quickly after he got it, he decided he didn't want to risk it and sent it back and got a refund. He had to dispute it through PayPal, but they sided in his favor, and
Wow.
so this is back in Ed's hands, as far as I know. I think the Yoda card back went to Narayan, if I'm not mistaken, but don't quote me on that.
Now, we should have got Ross on here too. We should have got everyone on here, Steve. Now we can just do that. Now we can have like that Saturday chat, which I joined one time and didn't say anything and sat there for an hour and then left. Seriously, the only time I've ever not said anything at a collector event was that one time I was there. Which I feel bad. So why did Ross return it?
I think he got wind that people thought that Ed was the same guy, and just didn't want any involvement once there was any sniff of controversy to it. So he was just like, I'm out.
Right.
Did the bounced and got his money back.
In the words of Bitcoin traders, he had paper hands. You know, we've got diamond hands. We hodl. You know, we're stuck with these things. Okay, I'm sorry. I watched too much YouTube. All right. So, wow. And now is Narayan happy with his Yoda?
As far as I know,
Wow.
haven't followed up recently with him. But the thing about the most recent one, these last three, is one thing I noticed was there was always kind of a pronounced crease that went through the card back and went through the sticker. The sort of thing that if you were trying to fake it, you might do in order to support its authenticity.
Oh, because the ones that we know are fake didn't have that, and
right.
I see.
So if you were somebody
do
who
ours
was
have
making
pronounced
fake ones,
creases? Oh no, we don't have pronounced pieces on ours. Oh,
No,
good.
we don't.
Okay.
So, what was I saying? So that was something that struck me a little bit odd, that they would all have the same kind of corner crease through
Mhm.
the sticker,
Hmm.
but it wasn't enough to prove them fake. So then in May 2023, the Stormtrooper popped up.
Hmm.
And the
That's a pretty looking card.
Stormtrooper raised all sorts of flags.
Hmm.
People were calling him out when he posted it. He tried to sell it directly through different groups, the IC and some other groups, um, using his past credentials of having done successful Bossa card deals as evidence that this was real.
Hmm.
And I looked at it and I said, yeah, that doesn't look right. And he sent me lots of close-up stickers or close-up photos of the sticker, demonstrating there's like a black line at the bottom of the sticker that he said was dirt. And I was like, oh, that really doesn't look right. So at this point, there's kind of a firestorm going on. And in our little chat with Pat's like, you can see he's doing fakes now. It's got to be the same guy. And I was trying to kind of slow walk it. I didn't want to give or let on that I knew about the Luis identity, because I wanted more concrete evidence that
Right.
he would be the same person. So I was trying to string him out, and I was asking questions. Where did you get this? Oh, it was off a tricycle dealer.
Hmm.
And I think this was about the time that I asked him, do you know, maybe you bought it from a guy named Luis, because he's known to have created some fake ones. Maybe he sold you a fake one that now you're trying to sell off to other people, not thinking it's real, but it's actually fake. And he gave a really weird response to that, which is the really the first time that a big red flag popped up to me. And he was like, I do not, or I have never heard the name Luis
Vallejo.
Luis Vallejo, and I've never dealt with that guy before in my life. So it
Hmm.
was like a really strong reaction to an innocuous question.
Right.
Yeah.
Who?
And
Oil. Who said anything about oil? Yeah. All right.
and I don't know. I mean, there's obviously a language barrier, because he's not an English native speaker. He's
Right.
a Spanish speaker. So that could lead to some things not being, I mean, even through all his chats, sometimes I had to ponder what he was saying before I'd understand it. Um, but it was something that I was like, man, that's an odd way to react when somebody asks you if you've may have purchased from this guy. Um,
Hey, Bill, quick question. Is there
sure.
anything other than the Bossa sticker that just leapt out at you on the Stormtrooper as being fake, like screaming fake, or was it just the sticker?
Just the sticker. I
So
mean,
so it's not like are there other known 45 back stormtrooper bosses?
I couldn't tell you that with certainty.
And
So it's just
also
something about
great
that
question.
sticker that
Yeah.
jumped out.
It just doesn't look like it's affixed like it should be.
Huh. Yeah, because are you saying, Matt, that you have a hard time seeing what's wrong with it?
Well, uh,
Yeah, on your
when
little phone screen, it's going to be tough. Or if
Yeah.
you look at it on the full size image, it just doesn't look like it's stuck to. It's like,
Is
well,
this
that
the image?
this is my proof that we'll get to in a minute.
Oh geez. Okay.
okay,
Yeah,
I'm
jumping the gun.
spoiling
All right.
everything here.
yeah. Wait until I say next slide, damn
I'm sorry, Chris. Bill, I'm sorry.
it. So I went back and forth with Ed. I was like, people really don't think this is real, and he offered to send it to me to verify that it's real,
Wow.
which
Like
is
for free.
for free. Yeah. which was something that I was hoping he would do, given our past
Yeah.
trust and past interactions. But
Yeah.
that's like a really wild thing to do, is just to send what could be a $4,000 carded figure to somebody free of charge with no other compensation on top of it.
Yeah.
So he agreed to he offered to send it to me. He sent it to me. I received it, and I looked at it under a black light, and let's advance to that slide. And I could tell immediately, first of all, there was marker corrections.
Yeah.
Those are the dark black lines around there.
Yeah.
But also it's really evident that the sticker was not original on there. I'm guessing it was put on to cover price sticker damage. Based on, like, if you feel that it's like a different roughness than the card should be, as if there was something torn underneath it. So, but the thing about it is an authentic Bossa sticker, and they did put Bossa stickers on other toys back when they were releasing these, so you could, in theory, do some Goo Gone, take it off, and put it on a different card.
Okay.
Wow,
So
so it's a real sticker. So it's not like there's some kind of printed something or other, or
no, this is so far, like, the first set of fakes that Luis did were just super obvious. Some of them weren't even like, they were like hand cut on the corners instead of being die cut. So it was just glaringly obvious. But and you can see I compared it to my authentic Bossa that Luis gave me, or Luis sold to me, not gave me, from many
good
years
Luis.
ago.
Let's
Galvez, that Luis, right?
Luis Galvez, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
there's too many Luises and too many Eds in this whole thing.
That's true.
So it was really obvious. It was just somebody slapped a fake sticker on a real card for this stormtrooper. So whenever I asked him about that, he asked all sorts of questions, how I was sure it was fake, and was it just the state, like the marker mark? And it's like, yeah, the marker marks are pretty damning, that somebody would just draw little black marks around the Bossa sticker to hide whatever damage was there. And that's when I told him that I needed proof that he was indeed Ed, and not Luis. And he was like hemming back and forth, and he was like, well, in Peru, if people learn that you have something valuable, your family members start harassing you to give them money. So he doesn't want his name to get out there that he has this money. There are these valuable figures, which, I mean, I don't know much about Peruvian culture, if that's an accurate thing, but
that sounds to me like he's hoping that you have some kind of racist belief that he lives in a certain way, and he's just sort of hoping that you'll be like, oh yeah, I guess so. I mean, that's pretty sketchy.
So we know the stormtrooper's fake. We're continuing to do a deep dive into whether or not Luis and Ed are the same person. And then the last piece of absolute concrete proof turns up. And that piece of proof is whenever he sent his figure to Narayan, he used the same return address that Luis used, or Luis had on his government ID.
Same exact
Address.
Like it's not like it's Fifth Avenue, and then we just don't know, because addresses can be read differently in different. Yeah. Wow.
So
and
the
Steve,
thing about
yeah. Go ahead.
And the thing about it was the handwriting on the figure I had and the handwriting on the figure Narayan had were identical. Both said Ed, but had different return addresses. Mine had the address he'd given me before.
Yeah.
Ryan's had the address that was on
Dated back to
Luis's,
the bad Luis.
the bad Luis, yes.
Yeah. Oh man.
So whenever I confronted him with that, I told him, and he tried to say, well, I gave it to a friend to ship, and the friend shipped it from an office building, and that must be the street address of the office building. So I pulled up Google Maps, and it wasn't an office building; it was like an apartment building. And so I told him the only way I would believe that he was not the same person was if he sent me a photo of him holding up his own government ID, and he didn't reply after that. So,
Wow.
Man.
So and then that's where it's left.
that's where it's left.
Okay.
So Steve, this is the point where if I edited the show, in a clip from a movie, one of your favorite movies, what would I say about Jamarillo and Vallejo?
Are you talking about Lebowski here?
No,
No, wait. I'm sorry. My brain is not.
Jamarillo is Vallejo. Vallejo
Oh,
is
of
Jamarillo.
course. Okay.
Finkelstein is Einhorn.
Einhorn.
Einhorn
Yes,
is
yes, yes.
Finkelstein.
Yeah, I haven't thought about that in a long time. There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We made a reference to it a long time ago. Matt listens to the show
Yeah.
more than we do. He might be able to tell us
Yeah,
an
our
episode.
our Ace Ventura episodes.
Yes. Wow. So Finkelstein is Einhorn. Is that what we're saying, Bill?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But that does
So-
not mean that our figures are fake.
Right.
So when we look
Because-
at real examples like my Greedo here, how do you get things to focus properly with this stupid like blurry thing? How do you do it, Matt? You're all in focus. I'm all anyway. You can't tell me. So
So you're
we've
blurring
now
your background on purpose?
no, I don't know how to undo it. I'm sure there's some setting where I can do that. But this is our sort of scuffed, janky return. I'm sure someone
Trial
can
run.
tell us how to do it.
Trial
And
run.
Steve has the front camera blurry and the background info.
Yeah.
Just a bad camera.
Wow. So what are you doing with the Stormtrooper?
That was one thing I wanted to ask here. He
Mm.
never asked for the Stormtrooper back.
So it's
Oh,
just
And I
been
still have
complete silence. There's been nothing since then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, send me your ID, and then he never replied back after that.
Well, and how long has that been?
Let's see. May 24th, 2023.
Wow.
So, yeah. So it
And I mean,
sounds
he
like
still posts stuff on time. So he still posts stuff on Facebook from time to time for sale.
Oh, okay.
Never any carded figures that I've seen, but other random Peru stuff.
do you just like kind of get in there and be like, hey, what's up?
I haven't tried reaching out to him since then.
Okay, so I know what you do. You
What do I
go
do?
to you go to the groups where he sells, and you post this for sale, and then you just see what happens, right? Because something's gonna happen. That's gonna get the gears going. I don't know exactly in what direction, but if you know he's there, like immediately after he posts, so that you get things going. Nice guy, Steve. I have to be Mr. Nice Guy again, but I'm not mean to anybody that we know.
Well,
so
I mean, yeah, there's nefarious activity involved too, so you can be,
wow.
You can always get Jib to grade it.
That's true.
Right, that's true. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
I don't know. Is it Jib or is it Gib?
It's GIB, and anyways, oh my god. Yeah, that's another thing Steve will have to talk about. Everything is sucked lately. What has happened to the satire Facebook pages and Star Wars? It's tough. The thing that Bill started, it's just gone all south.
I did not start this.
Oh, yeah.
The
Here we go.
The thing that Mike Cooper started is just
Yeah, right.
Mr. Nice Guy.
He's not here, so it's fine. That
Mr. Nice Guy. It was me. I started.
I do find it hilarious that you, in your head, took credit for coming up with the mock name whenever that was 100% me.
Oh, so it's 100% you, and I have this real problem where Like if someone comes up with a great joke and I think I came up with it, it bothers me forever. Like my wife was at the supermarket and I was like, "Can we get carrots?" And they only had baby carrots, and she's like, "No, I want adult carrots." And that's like the funniest thing. And like it's exactly the kind of joke that I like to think I would make. So in my head, I made that joke, but no, it wasn't me. Oh, and that and the famous Kellerman piece that I don't have, that I keep saying I have, but I don't have. Yeah. Oh, it's terrible. But Mr. Nice Guy is open to all criticism and corrections. So then, Matt, what do you think? Do you think that we have real Bassa carded figures? I mean, real Bassa card backs with figures?
I've looked at mine every which way I can, and I mean, I can't see any way that it was fake. Like there's no um, touch up ink or anything like that. It doesn't look like the bubble's been put on after the fact. I really couldn't see anything that would just scream fake. That's why I was curious about if what Bill saw in that stormtrooper, other than the stickers, screamed fake to him, because um, I really couldn't see anything to me, to
Yeah.
my eye.
Well, it
And
seems like
a lot of people have looked at these three, right? Right, Bill? I mean,
Oh
I
yeah,
wasn't here for this, but I mean, I imagine that this was the talk of the town, that everyone came up and looked at it at the annual, right?
maybe. I don't remember, Matt. Was
Okay.
anybody impressed, or were people just too
It
drunk at
was at
that
the
point?
end of the night. There was one group of people, there maybe 15 or 20, that came around and looked at them and continued to start drinking again. So um,
Okay.
I may have been
there
too
were no
drunk to
loops. So let's
remember.
just put it at that.
yeah,
Okay.
the lights and the loops weren't out at that point.
Yeah, it wasn't that kind of party.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Wow. Yeah.
I would put forward that the provenance is the 3PO, because the
Right.
3PO is impossible to fake.
Right.
And the
Yeah.
fact that these other three came with it and are in identical condition, I think there's really no doubt that these are real.
But it's a known scammer.
It's the
Oh
thing though,
my
Sky,
God.
like I feel like in all these cases, at least the big ones, there's always good mixed in with the bad,
Yeah, I
right?
mean,
So that's
Scott
just makes it
McWilliams
hard.
had a lot of Scott McWilliams had a lot of real stuff.
Right. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
and
what
he sent the thing to you for free. So was that just a gamble to see if you wouldn't pick it up?
I'm maybe that would be my guess. He probably didn't have much invested in it, so
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But still, I mean, wow. Wow. So then I
it,
guess I'm happy. I guess, Steve, should I be happy? How should I feel at the end of this?
I, I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe happy isn't the adjective, but maybe some relief. I'm not sure. It's that's a tough one though because it's mixed in with a lot of not so great, you know, stuff mixed in there. That makes it tough.
I'm
I
like 80,
Exactly.
90% happy.
okay. Well,
There
Yeah.
you go.
There's always
yeah.
going to be something in the back of my
Percentages,
mind
yeah.
that's like screaming like this could be a red light, but the lion's share of me just feels like it's a
It
legitimate
was one of
piece.
the good things on the tricycle, not the bad.
Yes.
Definitely need a
it,
tricycle's image or something like this with these coming
Yeah, I know.
off of it.
I have to keep coming up with more images. What does a tricycle even look like? Like a big wheel, like the Shining style?
think of like a food cart in New York where they have the bike on the end and they have the
Yeah,
food thing behind it.
That's
towing them behind. Yeah.
that's what I came up with. It's pretty
Nice.
good.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
I totally lost my train. I had something I wanted to say like 4 different times and I completely forgot it.
Okay. Well, I keep
Sorry.
dealing with that, Steve,
Since
because I
I'm an
can't edit
Obi-Wan
that out
focus
either.
since I'm an Obi-Wan focus collector and I want to complete as much as possible, if anyone has a white hair variant Ben Bassa card back, let me know because I need that one now.
So when we do our special Matt George episode, we are gonna have to find out because I don't know the different colors of hair, And of course, Steve is also a Obi-Wan focus collector for a long time. So you guys
Used
can
to be,
fight over
yeah.
who has a better Obi-Wan collection.
Low, that would be a, yeah, non-existent fight. Sadly. No, I still love the figure for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I'm spending a lot of time my baby just loves Star Wars even though there's no Star Wars around hardly at all. But there's like a back of a Power of the Force 2 figure box and I just pointed all the characters that are on there. And so, I point to Darth Vader and do and then I point to Ben and it's hello there. And then I point to Chewie and oh, and then I point to Luke and I go, that's gonna pick us a power commander station. And that's her absolute favorite. But anyways, she does recognize Obi-Wan every time and
Yeah.
gets excited. Hey, look, a little bit of Gark and Larkin, Steve. So then that is what's going to bring us up to. We have now had the Kivecast effect, Steve. What we do matters so much.
So much.
Unbelievable how important it is. So Matt, Bill, and I wanted to sell the Vader because obviously we'd get something for it. We have reached out to Vader collectors. Bill, what's the most we've been offered for it?
I would always give a price and they would always say no.
Hmm.
Okay. Can that price be the starting bid? So this is the other thing. Okay. Bill has a friend who's going to talk about who needs some help. And who's part of the Pennsylvania Star Wars Collectors Club. And
Collecting Society.
right. The Star Wars Collecting Club of Pennsylvania Collecting Society. Nice guy. Be Mr. Nice Guy. I think Mr. Nice Guy is not as funny as normal Sky. It's okay. Okay. So finally, he suggested that we auction this. And Steve and I, we love the charity.
That's definitely, yeah, in the lane for us, right? Feels right.
Yes. Yeah. And geez, Matt, weren't you a big part of a huge charity thing like 5 years ago or something like that? Am I remembering that correctly? Like someone had a car that was busted. Do you remember that story?
Oh, that's my buddy Boba Pat. We all
Oh,
chipped in
Yes.
and funded and bought him a new car. Yeah, he's a real good friend of mine here in Dallas.
Yeah, I remember that whole thing. Look at that,
Yep.
Steve. Look at me remembering hobby lore that happened after 2011.
On Facebook, no less.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I remember because I was talking a lot to Tom Quinn at that time, and I was like, like, are these guys okay? And Tom's like, they're the greatest people in the world. I'm like, okay, cool. So, that's how Tom spoke back then. Okay, so then, sorry, someone's coming downstairs, but it's no big deal. So then we are going to be auctioning this off, and the money is going to go to what, Bill?
The member's name is Michael Clark. He's been a member of the Pennsylvania Star Wars Collecting Society for many, many years. And he has a degenerative disease for his lower limbs where they're basically non-functional.
Hmm.
And over the past year, he's had to have a lot of surgeries to deal with pain and that sort of thing. So the cost of that have really set him back.
Hmm.
And he needs, he's always used crutches in the past. He's like huge built. His upper body is really muscular, but his legs are just like, they just kind of hang there. So he had to have surgery and he needs a wheelchair now. So he set up a GoFundMe, which I'm sure you'll be able to post the link
Hmm.
for the GoFundMe in your description here.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you can actually see me because I can only see Steve right now, but here is the Darth Vader, Bassa Darth Vader that doesn't have the sticker. But you can totally almost not really see a place where the sticker would have been on the card back. Not really. I can't tell any difference as if there was ever a sticker there, but maybe it peeled off really easy. And I actually had Ed/Louise ship it to me with a little piece of card or paper wrapped around so the saber wouldn't break. And it also comes with the certificate of authenticity signed by Ed, proving this is a legitimate part of this Bassa discovery.
Wait, is that signed Luis? Is that an L on the signature?
I don't know. It's a Spanish something.
It is. Okay.
Signed and
Oh,
dated in pen.
wow. So this is what I was talking about, Steve. What we do is important. Our show has a reach of hundreds of thousands of people. But what is true is that things like this acquire meaning. So I did this little
Yeah.
joke on the Bassa Greedo. I did that because there's a famous story about someone. No, but there's a story where he posted on Rebel Scum. It would be really easy to fake a price sticker, right? Or something like that. It'd be really easy to make a fake Palatoy, and then he made a fake Palatoy, and then he sold a fake Palatoy, and it was the most viewed post in the history of Rebel Scum. Like back in the day, it was called the Real Greedo Truth. And I forget who has it, but someone has that actual thing. And it's worth so much because it's part of the hobby. And so, like, this is a goof. But this Vader, first of all, is it's a legitimate Bassa Vader. If our things are legitimate, it's a legitimate Bassa Vader. It is incomplete. I have, out of the kindness of his heart, Ron Salvatore gave me a quality control sample bot bag. The sticker fell off, but Ron told me as a quality control sample, it doesn't have the sticker. Is it still a quality control sample? Yeah, no, you're supposed to go,
Yeah, of
yes, like
course,
that.
yes.
Of course it is, right?
So
Materially,
nodding.
it is yeah.
Yeah.
So if you are interested in international figures, if you're interested in hobby history, if you're interested in Bill Cable paraphernalia, if you're a cablephiliac like the rest of us, if you are interested, if you're a Vader collector, this is an essential item to have. This will be talked about. This will be is that the kooky
Whoa, what happened?
what?
Hmm? You
I don't know.
okay?
Bill just freaked out.
Do we have Bill
Um,
still?
I don't know. I think he's frozen.
Oh, okay. He
Okay.
does appear frozen.
Okay, so
We'll get him
maybe
back.
should I pause the recording? How do I do this? Yeah, I'll pause the recording because this is,
Oh,
there he is.
there he is.
Hey, that was weird.
Yes.
We got you back.
You look like you're about to go on an unhinged rant. So, so this is an authentic Vallejo
So-
Amarillo tricycle Bassa Vader. And all the money that you raise is going to go to help somebody who really needs it, and you get the figure. So, Bill, where are we going to run this auction? Is it going to be on eBay?
I was thinking deal or no deal.
Deal or no deal? Okay.
And then if
So
we get no deal, then I can put it on eBay.
okay.
Plan
What's
B.
what's the starting bid going to be?
You throw out a number for me.
Okay. Well, I've talked it up so much that I kind of want it. So what would I pay for it?
What would you bid on it, Sky?
Jeez. So I'm the first bid, huh?
Yeah.
But the thing is, okay, so if it's deal or no deal, I know how you do this. 50 cents.
What I can do is there's a real Bassa sticker here. If you want to take this Bassa sticker and put it on the Vader, then you have a complete.
That's an interesting idea, actually. Well, Steve, what do you think? What do you think would be a fair starting price?
I don't know. I mean, in terms of what people are doing on Deal or No Deal, I mean, like you kind of made a joke about it. Things are way low, but I don't know. What do you think? A couple $100 to start,
Yeah.
and then build up from there.
Yeah, I would pay $200 for it as a piece of hobby history at the least, right? Okay, y'all looking at me like I'm crazy. That's fine.
Sounds good. No. That's I would agree with that.
And-
People pay more for Blue Harvest stuff, and that's completely manufactured collectibles.
Now, here's a more interesting question. If it were a Chewbacca or a Obi-Wan or R2D2, what nice guy, be Mr. Nice Guy or C3PO. What would you bid on it, knowing what it is, right? I mean, I said 200 because I don't have anything to do with Vader, but I'd pay
Right,
way more
yeah.
than that for a Chewie. If I knew this provenance and it was this story and I could have it up on my collection wall and be like, that's the one from the Kivecast when it came back after the year and Steve was in his weird little Buffalo Bill dungeon, Mr. Nice Guy, Mr. Nice Guy. So anyways, awesome. So that's our that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be raising the money. And how much of the profits are going to go to help him out, Bill?
I'm going to have the person pay into the GoFundMe directly,
Nice.
and then I'll just ship off the figure to him at my expense.
Awesome. Will you also include a little drawing?
You might need to, create a cartoon of the acquisition itself.
A little tricycle.
Yeah,
Tricycle's
also-
the new Try logo.
just a sketch. Yeah, just a pencil.
I can include a tricycle doodle with the.
There you go.
Okay.
I love
Great.
that. Yeah.
Cable original tricycle seller.
Yeah.
Yes. There you go. Wow. Whew. How you feeling, Matt? You haven't had a chance to say too much.
Really good, man. I just making some mental notes about the Obi-Wan Kenobi episode. I want to talk about this.
Oh, good.
Talk about that. I'm just.
I want to know how you're feeling, Sky.
I'm good. This is good. I mean, I was anticipating coming out of this, like thinking there was like a 50-50 chance that it was real. And I now feel like it's like basically like Matt said, 90% chance it's real and 100% chance that it's supporting a scammer, which is not fun. I try not to do that. But
Oh yeah, I remember what I wanted to say.
oh, good.
The thing that blows my mind the most over this entire deal is you have this guy who produces some of the worst, easily identifiable Bassett fakes that were ever sold, rips a bunch of people off, and then this one guy out of the hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of Star Wars collectors in Peru who are looking for bosses because they know bosses are super valuable. This one guy is the one who comes up with a genuine ESB-45 Bassa 3PO.
Yeah.
Like that, the odds of that are just blow my mind.
Well, maybe it's, maybe he's just a guy who has a good network, maybe that's just it. Maybe he's just like the guy, like maybe he's the main guy that everybody knows. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it is wild, but no, I feel good. I mean, if I had anywhere in my house to display my Chewbacca collection, I would display it with pride, but as it is, it's going to go straight into the basement. No, that's great. And also, hey, so we tease a lot, but I don't know if you guys got this. I got this is free advertisement for CAS, who hasn't been the source of controversy at all today. They see, I do pay attention to the hobby. Created this cool bubble protecting thing, which I can't possibly show you because of the stupid camera thing.
Yeah.
But it's a piece of plastic that goes over the entire bubble, and
Bubble
part
and
of me-
card, right? It's like
yeah,
a
bubble and
sheet.
card.
Yeah.
Yes. Part of me doesn't love it because it's like, okay, it's like, I'll whisper it. It's like a condom, it's like, it's awesome that you're doing it, but there's a little too much plastic in between you and what you're getting at. So when you look at it, it's, I'm back, baby. When you look at it,
You're back.
when
So are
look
you
at
saying
it,
the C in CAS stands for condom?
yes, condom adhesion services. But at the same time, like it's totally protected, and like I could, throw this on the ground and the bubble wouldn't break anymore. And I don't like having, brittle bubbles. The first thing I ever bought was from South America, was from a Brazilian collector. I bought an Uzai and it was dead mint and the bubble broke and all that. So I'm doing free advertising. I think that their bubble protection service is great. it is great. Like condoms are great because condoms are great and they save tons of lives and they prevent lots of unwanted pregnancies. God damn it. It's not a good commercial, but I like it. And I'm happy I have it. Did you guys get this bubble thing too, or you guys are raw dogging it?
No, we're condom free over here in Texas.
What's that,
I
Matt?
have my
I said
I
we're
have mine
condom free
lying
here in
flat
Texas.
on a table, so
Okay. So do you display it with the figure, Matt?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
in the
But
bubble or
you
out of the bubble.
In the bubble. And it's just in like a GW acrylic case. Shout out
yeah,
to them.
and I got a certificate of archival, which I don't know why they phrase it that way, but statement of archival. I figure that must be correct grammar. I just don't know what it means. So they grade the figure and then the rest, they don't say anything about the rest. So they're not vouching for the realness of the figure, which is good because they can't.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What
So
grade
anyways,
did your
that's
figure get?
I didn't even check. 75. Do we think that these are the correct figures? What do you think, Phil?
I can't imagine how they would be.
Like, so you think this was the figure when it was sold in a store in Cusco? This was the figure that was in that card back.
I mean, I suppose anything's possible.
Well, Matt, you know more about like variations and stuff. Does it make sense? Does the Obi-Wan that's in there, is that like the Obi-Wan that would be in that general run of Obi-Wans?
I asked the exact same question to somebody that know a lot better than I would, and they had no reason to believe that a gray-haired Obi-Wan Kenobi would have not shown up in Peru.
Mhm.
Wow. Yeah,
Well, that's
because I'm
something.
just so bad with variations. So I'm like,
Yeah, I mean, you can look at the that variant villains people or whoever they are, and figure out what factory your figure was produced at based on the COO and all kind of crazy stuff. So, um,
Yeah, I
that
think
would
it's impossible to say whether or not those are the same ones that came on the card way back when.
yeah.
But there's no reason to believe they aren't. But there's no reason to believe like we have proof that they are.
and it's interesting too, because mine's ripped. You guys all got oops, my phone's telling me I need to go to sleep. Y'all got like full stickers, but mine's torn at the edges. And it sort of makes like the trace of stuff that's left seems to make sense. I don't know.
Have you
So
given
you
it
can see
the
like an outline where the sticker gunk was or whatever.
Yeah.
okay? Yeah, have you given it the black light loop treatment yet, Sky?
No, I don't have a black light.
Oh man, it's like
Yeah.
$10 on Amazon. You can
$10
get a
on
black.
Amazon. Yeah, it's the
Really?
best
Feel
investment
like
you'll
yeah,
make. Yeah.
it's
Really?
a
Wow.
crazy thing that's something that like vintage collectors should have around.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I just had to order a new one. My battery burned out.
Wow. Okay, we're doing all sorts of advertisements, Steve. Oh yeah, and another anti-advertisement. This might actually apply to our audience, Steve. Don't
Okay.
gamble on sports, everybody. The whole world's trying to get you to gamble on sports. Fuck them all. They're trying to take your money. When did we agree this is okay? When did we think it's okay that ESPN owns a betting thing? It's all a crock of shit that's trying to take your money. You want to spend money? You buy that Vader. Don't gamble on sports.
There you
Just
go.
don't do it. It's a waste of money. Am I wrong, Steve?
No, you're not wrong. And I
I
like
know it's fun. I'm not saying it's not fun.
I like that you're pivoting it to the Vader. That is where that money
Yes.
should go.
Right?
Yeah,
Sorry. It's just
it's
I
okay.
watch a lot of sports. It's just so aggravating. Like do you remember when Pete Rose? So first of all, the first big collectible I ever got, I bought a Pete Rose rookie card literally a month before he got banned from baseball. I still have
Wow,
it.
wow.
And it's like the same people that are trying to keep him out of the Hall of Fame are like actively telling you what the betting line is. Okay. All right. With
Question
that
for you,
level
Sky.
of
I have a question.
yes.
I have a question for you. Hall of Fame.
Yes.
So Gary Sheffield has 10 years has
Yes.
come and gone. He didn't make it.
Hmm. Yeah.
69%. Is he a Hall of Famer?
Yes, because he had braces in his rookie card, and I just think that's awesome. No, I think so because it'll make Brock happy, and he listens to the show sometimes, right, Steve?
How long was he a Yankee longer than he was a Dodger? He must have been. Maybe it was about the same. Yeah, that's a good question. But yeah.
And I just still think of that stupid Future Stars card. The was it 1989 Topps Future Stars where he's like he's got the braces on his teeth. Yeah.
Oh, man, that's crazy.
Yeah. But I also have a much more like just throw everybody in there because what the hell? Like if someone was great, then throw them in there. But yeah. Oh my God, Steve, we have organic BS baseball talk at the end of the
Yeah,
show.
there it
This
is.
is great.
Oh, they're getting it a
Uh,
couple months early. Sorry, everybody.
yeah. Yes. Well, and Matt's you're a Rangers fan, right?
Rangers and Yankees.
Okay.
I'm a Yankees
Well,
fan. My dad's a Rangers fan, but
okay.
so I like them by association.
Yep.
World champs, by the way.
Wow. Yeah. All right. Well, then I think this is a good episode. We're gonna get that going. I'm gonna kick you two out. Steve and I are gonna do our goodbye. Oh wait, I'll pause it. So y'all say goodbye to the people, and then we'll pause it. And Steve and I will say goodbye to the people. So Bill and Matt, you say goodbye to the people.
Later, guys.
Goodbye. Bit high, bit often.
Yes,
Thank you,
and
guys.
we'll see Matt within the next 6 months. That's for sure. 'Cause we want to have that. We want to have that the Obi-Wan episode. Oh yeah, I'm just starting the recording again, Steve. You just finish up that water.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, this feels good. I think I'm really happy we're doing this again.
Me too. And yeah,
Did you
feels good.
think the show is never coming back, Steve?
I wouldn't say never,
Yeah.
because we never really hinted at that, but no, it feels great.
Hey, what
It's
happened to the last episode? Where is that episode?
I was gonna ask you. Okay, so this is my understanding. Okay, for one, that I was really curious when exactly that was. We recorded last 465 days ago. It was
Wow.
October of 2022. So it's true. It's when all this stuff with this find really started. There's a correlation
Wow.
there. It's kind of a trip, but
Wow.
no. So that was a long time ago. We recorded it. It's on the archive. You can listen to it there, but that was it. I don't think it ever made it to YouTube, and it
Mhm.
didn't make it to the feed. So I'd say if you got the file, the audio file, just throw it on the feed. It'll just resurrect Poplapalooza. I mean, that was the that
Yeah,
was a fun one, but
it must have been. Okay, cool.
a
Um,
long time ago. But no, this feels great.
yes, it really does. Um, I'm playing the theme song as the outro. Uh, I took the Apache break for all you old school hip hop fans. All right. Well then, um, until next month, Wampa Wampa.
Adios.